Hi, I'm Rick Rusaw with the Spire Network, and always glad to connect here at Lipscomb. And this desire to help leaders, ministers, lean into the future. I've always been one who's tried to see a little bit around the corner of what's coming. And it's probably about 7 years ago. I was in a meeting with a bunch of execs from some major name brands that you would know, and I was getting to sit in and listen. It was just a handful of them. And they were talking about the disruptive things that have happened in business. And here's how they described it. They said, first of all, for a long time in the history of the world, business was a pipeline. You produced a product, you shoved it down the pipeline, people purchased it. And if you wanted to grow your business, you either made a bigger pipeline or you had multiple pipelines, but it was a pipeline business. Produce a product, at the end of the pipe, consumers consume it. And then about 40 years ago, there was a shift to portfolio companies. And portfolio companies didn't make the products, they distributed everybody else's products. And so think Walmart, you can walk into Walmart even today and you can buy grapes or gerbils, right? Whatever you need in that thing. And now they were talking the most disruptive businesses are platform companies. And platforms do a couple of things. First of all, they don't create something. They allow something to happen that wants to happen. They help it to happen. They facilitate it happening. And the second thing, and this part really caught my attention, they said they take consumers and they turn them into contributors. And I threw my pastor hat on and went, wow, isn't that what we really want to do in the church? So think about it. In the history of the church, for a long time here in the U.S., we've been pipeline, right? We produce something. A service at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, or a Wednesday night Bible study, or a small group on Thursdays. And we invited you to come and partake in that, participate in that. And then 40 years ago, the birth of the megachurch, we went to being portfolio, where we started opening up side doors. Maybe it was recovery or something for single moms, or maybe something to do with families and kids that was more engaging beyond just a Sunday morning hour or a youth group hour. And we've watched churches grow and explode as they met some of those needs. But what if we were to think about us as a platform? Allowing something to happen that wants to happen. What wants to happen? People want their lives to count. They want to matter. And they want to have some connection to God, whether they even realize that always or not. How are we helping to facilitate that? And then secondly, how are we turning the consumers into contributors? Because that's what we all care about, right? Disciple making. How are we turning people into fully devoted followers of Jesus? And it includes all their engagement for that. Being on mission. All those books we've read and been a part of, messages we've preached about that. We care about that. But what would it look like if we were actually a platform? I have the privilege at Spire and my work with Glue to help bring some of that platform thinking around what we're doing. In fact, that platform thinking happens a little bit like this. What if we focused as much on scattering as a church as we did about gathering as a church? Because the reality is the bulk of our resources in the average church are spent on the gathering opportunities. What if we spent as much energy and time and focus on scattering? What if we help people connect with the thing they care about the most? Taking some passion they have, some interest they have, and helping them look at it from more of a kingdom perspective. Maybe they're a Little League coach, or they volunteer at the YMCA, or they're a mentor in the public schools. What if we can twist that just a little and say, hey, how is this being used for God to serve people and engage from a kingdom standpoint? Who would have ever thought that several million people would want to turn their car into a part-time taxi, or that spare bedroom into a hotel room, Airbnb, Uber? And how did it happen? It happened around people's personal self-interest. When I landed here in Nashville, I wasn't standing out in front of the airport hoping that some car would stop and offer me a ride. I got on my app and I plugged in my location. And the Uber driver who showed up, he wasn't just driving around the Nashville airport looking for some lonely sucker on the side of the road to give a ride to. He was motivated by, I need a part-time job or extra income, or maybe this is my full-time work, or maybe I'm a church planner and I'm driving Uber to get to know the city. Whatever it might be, but the reality is he was doing something for him and I was doing something for me, and the platform allowed us to connect and engage. What would it look like if the church found a way to be the platform in its city to connect people to God, connect them to each other, and engage them in the things that actually want to happen? I don't have the answers to that. I do know that there's opportunity in that. Hey, God bless you.